You can run with it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about UFC or you want to talk about the more violent athletic sport of cricket?
We'll save that, when we peak at this podcast episode, right? But what'd you guys think of the UFC card?
Well, how right was I to fucking John Silva?
Yeah, you were absolutely wrong. Yeah.
John Silva's a dog, bro.
Yeah,
Do you see the way
went in? Oh man, it was
John Silva and the Fighting Nerds are only becoming more and more and more like, staples of the UFC.
And I'm glad we have a timestamp on you making that. And that was like
receipts
recorded even like 4 or 5 days before we posted it.
I think that was. By
that
the
was
way,
before John Silva's fight.
Yeah, that was like episode 3, I think. Episode 3 or 4.
Before his
It was like
previous fight. And I talked about Mauricio.
Mystic Mac right here.
And I talked about Mauricio Ruffy, who had the sickest backspin KO. And I talked about him way before. But again, if you follow and watch the sport like I do, it's not like I'm some mad genius and I knew what I was talking about. It's so obvious how talented these guys are. Like, they're so fucking good. I mean, they're so entertaining, and they all have personalities. They all throw the glasses on. They act like fighting nerds. Carlos Pratas smokes cigarettes. He's like, has this swag to him. Mauricio Rufi's like into anime and like does these like anime moves in the fight. And John Silva's a crazy, like, his story is insane. His mom, he talks about a story about how his like mom got raped by like 3 men, and he saw it when he was like a little kid, and like it changed like his like brain chemistry altogether and turned him into a savage. Like, it's like a crazy story that you guys have to like look into, but all of them are just dogs and they support each other hard. And I don't know if there's a fight camp that's better than these guys. I haven't seen one, at least as entertaining. Obviously the Dagestanis, and you got the Australian Izzy's team, but there's a lot of different fight camps that are really good, but in terms of just like 4 fighters, they're undefeated in the UFC. John Silva, even in this fight against
Bryce Mitchell,
he pointed at Mauricio Ruffy in the crowd and then did a spinning back kick and landed. Like he was like, I'm about to do what you just did.
Yeah, they're having fun.
So relaxed, man.
They're having fun in it.
Yeah, they seem so relaxed. And
he points at Ruffy. Boom.
Wow.
And lands. Because Ruffy did the same thing and knocked Bobby Green out, like, in an insane fashion. So it's like...
But besides the fight, I will say, this was... Watching Bryce Mitchell on the press conference, guy's so entertaining, man.
Oh, he's so entertaining. I wish, in ways I wish he won, but I knew that he had no chance because Silva's just on a different level. Like, he's legit.
When John Silva's barking,
he's title contender level.
He's champ level. Yeah. Like he I don't know, like him versus Volkanovski is like a very interesting fight. And he's calling Volk out. He wants to fight for the title. And I mean, he's gotten such like a fast, path to the title by design, because the UFC knows they have gold. Like, he's gold. Like, he's entertaining pre-fight, he's entertaining fight, he's entertaining post-fight. He like barks, he yells, he talks shit. If only he could speak English, but goddamn, man, he's so good. It's so fun to watch. Who else fought in that card?
So you had a Volk and
so we got Patty. That's going to be super exciting. I mean, I want the Patty and Ilya fight so bad. I want that fight so bad. And now it's like the perfect situation to have that fight line up. Don't you think? I mean, for Patty to dominate Michael Chandler, it's just setting up that fight. There's already bad blood. They already don't like each other. Patty seems like he's getting better every fight.
You think that'll be a test for Ilya to then ask for Islam after?
No, I just think with the drama that you have, the bad blood that you have,
it's like a story
to just have that fight in the and UFC puts these fights on.
Who do you have in that fight if they do fight?
I want Ilya to win, of course. But
does that mean you don't think he's going to win? Or like you want him to win and you think he's going to win?
I mean, I think on fight night, Patty's going to be 20 pounds heavier than Ilya.
Yeah.
So, and
he's a bigger guy too altogether. I think he's taller too than Ilya.
Sure. Ilya's going to be a lighter weight, lightweight compared to all of his competition, but that's
probably
what makes
like
it
155, 160, but most lightweights are at 170 by fight night, I believe.
Yeah.
No, Patty's a big 155, and he's a dog, man. I like Patty a lot. He gets a lot of haters. I mean, again, you learn when you put content out and you put yourself out there how haters come out of left and right.
It's the greatest compliment.
It's haters. If you don't have haters, then you're not doing something right, of course. But like, I like him a lot. I think that he's super entertaining. I think he's a really well-rounded fighter. He obviously has evolved. He's always an underdog somehow in a lot of his fights. I would love to see Patty versus Ilya. Ilya's such a dog, man. He's one of my favorite fighters. So it would be hard, to cheer against Patty, but Ilya's just like one of those guys that it's hard for me to not root for. So that's definitely a fight that makes a lot of sense. It's the 155 division right now is getting very interesting because no one wants to fight each other at the top. Like, Islam has reasons why he doesn't want to fight Ilya, which are founded in, it's really Khabib's, school of thought of like, we've already gave 145er chance twice with Volk, and, let him fight once at 155, and if he wins, we'll give him a chance. Like, it doesn't make sense. They're also gunning at 170 to get him double champ status. I think it's dumb. I think the fight to make is Ilya and Islam right now. I think, Ilya's right now saying, no, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to fight until I fight for the belt. Charles Oliveira says he won't fight Ilya because he wants to wait and he thinks he should fight for the belt. Justin Gaethje thinks he should fight for the belt. So a lot of those guys aren't fighting each other because they all think that they have a reason to fight for the belt. In reality, the fight to make is Ilya and Islam. Like, that's the fight to make. Give Charles Patty and let them... that's an entertaining fight. Gaethje, it kind of bottlenecks at the top. But I think Gaethje should, again, get another fight. He's on a 1-fight win streak. You could put Gaethje and Max. I guess Gaethje and Max fought, or Gaethje and Dustin. Dustin's in the mix. There's so much talent, but some reason it's bottlenecking, and a lot of them like aren't willing to fight each other, which is just like annoying. But I think Dana and the team, they're going to figure it out. And I really do think Ilya and Islam's going to be the next fight. I don't see them not making it.
They're trying, but I think Islam's pushing back, saying he's got to get a fight in lightweight before he gives him a chance for the title.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much talent, and it's unfortunate. Again, they have Arman's in the mix too. I forgot about Arman, and Arman and Gaethje could fight, and then Oliveira could fight Patty, and then Max could fight Dustin, which is probably going to happen. I think Max and Dustin is going to be Dustin's last fight, and they're going to fight for the BMF title. They just
fought.
No, they haven't fought. They didn't just fight. Not Max and Dustin.
I'm thinking Justin.
Yeah.
You said Dustin.
Yeah, so I think it makes sense to match Max with Dustin, to match Arman with Patty, or even Dan Hooker, and give Ilya Islam. Like, Ilya and Islam is the most entertaining fight in lightweight right now. I mean, there's a lot of these fights are entertaining. Don't get me wrong, and it's exciting to see what's next at 155. But
I think their news about not at lightweight, but even I wonder when they're going to finalize Duplessis versus Hamzat. Because that's for sure happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many bangers. Like, Dreykus versus Kazmat.
You know what's not going to happen, even though it's a banger? John Jones fighting.
John Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
It's never happening.
Again, he's avoiding it or he's stretching it out as long as possible because Tom is just such a dangerous fighter. And you need to do everything you possibly can to make the fight swing into your favor. But in terms of banger fights, Tom versus John Jones.
Imagine like an interim title holder not being able to fight to get
Dreykus versus Kazmat. Carlos Pratas is fighting Ian Machado. Ian Gary. Ian Gary, like, shout out to Ian Gary, who has a lot of haters, but he's taking that fight against Carlos, which he doesn't necessarily, he could do the same thing, and he could just wait to fight someone who's ranked higher than him because he's ranked number 7, and Carlos
But his fight against Shavkat was badass, though.
Yeah, he had him in that chokehold. He couldn't finish him. I think Shavkat's not as good as. I don't think he's as good as a lot of people think.
You think Pratas takes the title?
I think Pratas and Ian is a really interesting fight because I could see Ian winning, but I would obviously I'm going for Carlos because I just want to see that entertainment. But even Joaquin Buckley is like, it might be better than Shavkat to me. Like, I think that once Bilal's a dog, man. Bilal gets so much haters, but he's so good. I mean, if Bilal wins another 2 fights in a row, like he's gonna put his name up there for, best
like
welterweight of all time. You know that?
GOAT, yeah.
You know he's putting together a resume to be goated at welterweight. What is he on? Like a 1, 2, 3.
Still, Kamaru's probably higher on that list for the time being, huh?
Yeah. 10 fight win streak, 11 fight win streak. Wow. And he's dominated the last few people that he's fought who've been like Leon, Gilbert, Sean Brady just embarrassed Leon, like completely dominated him. Stephen Thompson, Damian Maia. I mean, the gambit of the top welterweight. So a lot of people are comparing his resume to that of the Canadian dude who's really good. What's his name? GSP. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting, man. But yeah, that's our little UFC talk. You want to switch it up here?
Yeah, I've got a question for you guys.